All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest, most famously challenging books ever written, James Joyce's Ulysses. And we're going right to the beginning, dissecting that very first chapter to get a handle on the intense battle of wills that really kicks the whole thing off. So welcome, this is the episode 15 summary of the Ulysses Unlocked podcast, where we, you guessed it, analyze James Joyce's Ulysses one page at a time. Do us a huge favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. It really helps us out. And hey, if you want to go even deeper, check out the main Ulysses Unlocked podcast for the full, detailed, page-by-page analysis. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's 8 in the morning, June 16th, 1904. We're on the rooftop of a Martello Tower, just south of Dublin. Now, these towers were basically old military forts, built to watch out for Napoleon. But this one? It's become a kind of bohemian crash pad for a couple of young guys. And right off the bat, we meet one of them. And what an entrance! Joyce gives us so much in just this one opening line. We meet this character, Buck Mulligan, a medical student, and he comes out holding a shaving bowl like it's some kind of sacred object. The Latin he's chanting, that's "I will go unto the altar of God." It's literally the opening line of the Catholic Mass. So right away, in one single move, Joyce paints this incredible picture of Mulligan's personality. He's a performer, he's charismatic, but wow, is he also just completely irreverent? Now, you might think Mulligan's our main guy, but nope. He's yelling for someone named Kinch, who he calls a fearful Jesuit. And that person, well, that's our actual protagonist, Stephen Dedalus. And this sets up the central conflict immediately. You've got Stephen, the serious, brooding artist, totally weighed down by grief, and then you have Mulligan, the loud, boisterous medical student who's the life of the party. It's an instant clash. And the real kicker? In his own home, Stephen is being treated like a servant, while Mulligan acts like he owns the place. So, what's Stephen's deal? Why is he so down? Well, the chapter wastes no time diving right into his inner turmoil, a pain that Mulligan, it seems, just loves to pick at. And here it is. This is the heart of his pain. Stephen's mother passed away about a year before, and as she was dying, she begged him to kneel down and pray. But Stephen, having turned his back on the Catholic Church, refused. And Mulligan just throws this right back in his face, even saying that his own aunt thinks Stephen's refusal is what actually killed his mother. I mean, can you imagine? That's the enormous weight Stephen is carrying around. Joyce even gives this feeling a very specific, very old name, agenbite of inwit. It's a Middle English term for remorse of conscience. But it's more than just feeling bad, you know? It's this sharp, biting, intellectual kind of guilt that just gnaws at him. On one hand, he knows he was true to his own beliefs by not praying. But on the other, he feels like he committed this terrible betrayal against his mother in her final moments. It's a real double-edged sword. But wait. Mulligan's cruelty goes even deeper. Stephen finally calls him out for something he said shortly after the funeral. And when Mulligan tries to apologize, for offending his mother's memory, Stephen's response is just ice cold. He says, "I am not thinking of the offense to my mother, of the offense to me." Wow. So the real wound here for Stephen isn't that his mother was disrespected, it's that that his grief was treated so casually, so dismissively. It's all about his own pride. Okay, so this personal pain, this grief, it's actually connected to something much, much bigger. Stephen feels totally trapped. And it's not just by Mulligan. It's by the huge forces that have shaped his entire world. He sees himself as a servant, and because of that, he feels he can't ever be a truly free artist. And we see this play out when he lays it all out for an English guy who's visiting, a fellow named Haines. Stephen names his three masters, the forces he feels are controlling his soul. First, you've got the British Empire, his political master. Second, the Catholic Church, his spiritual master based in Rome. And third, Ireland itself. He feels his own country is trying to trap him with its demands for patriotic service. For Stephen to become the artist he needs to be, he believes he has to break free from all three. And then, Joyce gives us this perfect symbol for this whole idea. An old milkwoman arrives. To Stephen, she's basically Ireland personified. She's ancient, she's poor, and she's even trying to speak Irish Gaelic but doesn't really understand it. And who does she look up to? Who gets her respect? Not Stephen, the artist, the thinker. Nope. It's Buck Mulligan, the loud, swaggering medical student, the practical man of science. In Stephen's eyes, she's just another servant serving her masters, completely oblivious to the artistic soul of her own country. All this tension between Mulligan and Stephen It's been bubbling under the surface, and it finally explodes in one of the most famous symbols in all of modern literature. It's a symbol that perfectly captures how Stephen sees the creative soul of his country. So Mulligan is messing around, right? He shoves this little cracked mirror in Stephen's face and says something like, "Look at yourself, you dreadful poet." And Stephen just snaps. He comes back with this absolutely blistering line that just cuts right through all of Mulligan's joking around. So what does he mean by that, the cracked-looking glass of a servant? Well, for Stephen, that's what Irish art is. It's a broken reflection. It can't show a true, whole, confident image of the Irish people. It's art made by servants, he thinks, always twisted and warped because it's trying to please its masters. This is really Joyce, through Stephen, landing a massive critique on the whole Irish literary revival movement happening at the time. And all this talk of guilt, betrayal, feeling like a servant, it all comes to a climax in the final moments of the chapter. And it all centers on one simple but incredibly powerful object, the key to the tower. Now, this is so important. We learn that Stephen is the one who actually paid the rent for the tower. He thinks to himself, "It is mine." So despite everything, this place is his home. And that key is the symbol of his ownership, his right to be there. So as Mulligan gets ready to go for a swim, he just says it. He doesn't ask, he commands. It sounds casual, almost throwaway, but think about what it really is. It's a demand for complete and total surrender. And in this one quiet, absolutely devastating moment, Stephen just does it. He hands over the key. He gives up his home. He gives up his control. He's been feeling emotionally and intellectually pushed out this whole time. And now, right here, it becomes real, visible. As Stephen walks away from the tower, he looks out and sees Mulligan's head in the water, and just one single word comes into his mind: usurper. That's it. That's his final, silent judgment on the man who's taken his home, ridiculed his pain, and now literally holds the key. Stephen's long day, his exile, has just begun. So, this incredible opening chapter just leaves us hanging with so many questions, doesn't it? Like, why is Mulligan, this practical medical student, so completely obsessed with Greek culture? What's the deeper meaning behind Stephen refusing to pray for his own mother? Is it stubborn pride, or is it a kind of integrity? And the biggest question of all, can Stephen ever really escape the masters he claims are holding him down? Well, to get the answers to those questions and to explore so much more, you'll have to check out our full page-by-page analysis. Just look for Ulysses Unlocked wherever you get your podcasts and continue the journey with us. Thanks for tuning in.